Hello again, everyone. This is Mr. Mark with the Tawny Town Library here with another cooking video for you. And this week, I'm going to be showing you how to make upgraded instant ramen. Now, ramen from a package is a fine treat, but you will be shocked at how much better it is with just a little bit of effort. And this is all I'm going to be using today, and the most important ingredient is an egg. This adds a lot of depth and flavor to the broth. I'll also be adding a little bit of cheese and then some green onions and red pepper for spice, and then finally some toasted sesame seed. And there are a lot of ways to customize ramen. You can add a lot of different things, but this is what we tend to use, so that's what I'm going to be doing. And let's get started. Our first step is just going to be chopping up this green onion. It adds a nice little bit of springy crunch to the final product. Let's cut this up, and I've always heard that you should basically just use the green part from the onion, so that's all I'll be cutting up today. And let's just skip through this chopping, and we end up with a nice little pile to add after our ramen is finished cooking. So let's get to that actual cooking. I am just going to be following the ingredients given right on the package. So I'll be adding 2 cups of water to a saucepan. I'm just going to bring this to a boil over medium heat, and I'm just going to skip ahead to when it's actually boiling. So our water's boiling now. I'm just going to drop our noodles in, and I'm going to be cooking this for 3 minutes like it says on the package, but I'm going to be taking an extra step about 2 minutes in. I'm going to be stirring this occasionally to make sure the noodles are evenly cooked, but let's skip ahead to that extra step. Okay, it's been about 2 minutes, and now's when I'm going to take that egg I mentioned, crack it, and drop it into the ramen. And then we're going to actually fold the ramen over so it's lying on top of that egg, and we're just going to let it finish cooking for that last minute. This is actually going to poach the egg a little bit while it's in the ramen, so let's skip ahead to when it's done. Alright, the ramen has finished cooking. I've turned off the heat, and now's when we're going to add our other ingredients. So I'm going to add that flavor packet in there. Some people prefer to use less of the actual flavor packet and add their own soy sauce and other ingredients in, but I usually go pretty simple. And then a tablespoon of butter, and add some red pepper in there, and then we're gonna stir it all up. And you wanna be a little gentle while it's stirring. You don't wanna break the egg while the broth is still as hot as it is. If you wait until it's cooled down a bit, the yolk doesn't mix in quite as thoroughly, and it really adds something to the ramen. It's not a disaster if your egg does break and the yolk mixes together. It'll still taste delicious. It's just best done once it's cooled a little bit. Like I said, this is extremely customizable. You can add more meat, bacon, or ham. You can add cooked or frozen vegetables. You can add different spices. I'm just going to wait until the butter fully finishes melting, and then we're going to take the last step. And our ramen is ready to serve. So we're going to take a bowl, and we're actually going to put the cheese at the bottom of that bowl before pouring the ramen in. Whoops, poured a little too fast, spilled a bit of the broth. You can use any cheese you want, but I highly recommend using American cheese. The advantage of American cheese is that it melts really easily, and that's what we want for this. Then we're going to be taking that green onion and just dropping it in, and we're going to top it off with some sesame seeds. You will be shocked at the difference this makes and at how tasty this ramen is compared to when it's just out of the package with the flavoring packet. Try it yourself and let us know what you think.